All right, today we're going to crack open a guide that honestly cuts right through all the fluff. It's called the No-BS Design Rulebook, and it is packed with 20 no-nonsense rules that real designers are actually using every single day. The goal? To create work that communicates with real power and clarity. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
I mean, just think about it for a second. We are surrounded by design that just doesn't work, right? You know what I'm talking about. Websites that are totally confusing, ads that are just chaotic, posters that are, well, a mess. And it's more than just ugly. It's genuinely stressful. It's this constant stream of visual noise just screaming for our attention, but not giving us anything of value back.
And this right here is such a great way to visualize the difference. On one side, you've got clarity. It's like a well-organized room where everything has its place. It feels calm, it feels comfortable, and you can find whatever you need in a second. And then there's the other side. That's the messy room. It's cluttered, confusing, and just plain stressful. That feeling is exactly what bad design does to our brains.
Okay, so that's exactly where this rulebook comes in. It's basically the antidote to all that chaos. We're not talking about passing trends or some abstract theories here. This is a set of super concrete rules that come from decades of actual professional practice. It's all about how to cut through the noise and create work that actually communicates. So the first major philosophy, the idea that kind of underpins this entire rulebook, is this really crucial distinction. Are you designing or are you just decorating? And the whole difference comes down to one word: purpose. Every single thing you put on that page has to have a reason to be there. And this quote from the book, it just says it all, doesn't it? Design without a concept is mere decoration. Decoration without purpose is noise. I mean, without a big idea guiding you, you're really just sticking pretty things on a page. And when those pretty things don't have a purpose, they don't add any value. They just become more noise, cluttering up the message and confusing whoever's looking at it.
Okay, so let's build on that with the absolute #1 rule, the foundation for, well, everything. Great design doesn't start when you open up Figma or Photoshop. It starts with an idea.
So, a concept, what is it really? Think of it like the invisible backbone of your design. It's the answer to the single most important question you have to ask yourself before you start anything. What am I actually trying to communicate here? It's the why behind every single choice you're about to make.
So here's how you make this stuff actionable, right? Before you even think about picking a font or a color, just write down your core idea in one single sentence. And here's the test. If you can't explain your design's purpose in, 15 seconds, you don't really have a concept yet. That one sentence, that becomes your North Star for the whole project. All right, so once you have that core concept locked down, the very next step is to build a system to express it. And this isn't about being rigid or boring. It's about being coherent. You need to speak with one single, consistent visual voice. Just think about it in terms of people for a sec. If someone you know is constantly changing their story, they start to seem kind of untrustworthy, right? Well, design works the exact same way. When your visuals are all over the map, it just feels careless, maybe even unprofessional. But a consistent voice, a clear system, that signals that every choice was deliberate. It was made with intention. And that is what builds trust.
Here is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Look at the inconsistent pages. The navigation's jumping all over the place, the layout changes randomly, it's totally disorienting. The user basically has to relearn the whole page every single time they click. Now, compare that to the consistent design. It feels reliable, it feels easy to use. That is trust being built visually.
And, this principle extends to absolutely everything. Just look at the inconsistent branding. Every single touchpoint feels like it's from a totally different company. It completely fractures the brand's identity. The consistent branding, though, it reinforces the same message everywhere. On the website, on the packaging, in the app. It's all speaking with one clear voice.
Okay, so we've got our concept, we've got our system, now we can get into the fun stuff, the actual tools designers use. But remember, these aren't just for making things look pretty, they're for communication. First up, typography.
So rule #4 is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Use only 2 typefaces. That's it. I know it's tempting to use more, but look, it just creates visual chaos. 2 well-chosen fonts, though, they create contrast and harmony. The classic pairing of a serif for headlines and a clean sans serif for the body text? That's a timeless combo for a reason. It just works. It guides your eye instead of having different fonts fighting for your attention. Next up, let's talk about hierarchy, which the rulebook has this great name for, the 1-2 punch. And honestly, this is the basic structure of all great communication. First, you've got the hook. That's punch number 1. It's got to be big, bold, totally unmissable. It's the thing that grabs someone's attention and practically yells, "Hey, look over here."
And then, once you've got their attention with that first punch, you deliver the second one, the payoff. This is the quieter, more detailed info that actually rewards them for looking. Check out this poster. The huge headline, "Design is contrast." That's the hook. It stops you in your tracks. Then the smaller text below, that's the payoff. It explains the idea. Hook, then payoff. So simple, but so effective.
And of course, we have to talk about color. Rule number 6, pick your color on purpose. Color is never ever just decoration. It is loaded with meaning, both culturally and psychologically. You know, blue signals trust, red signals passion or maybe danger, green signals nature. Your color choice is communicating a whole vibe long before a single word gets read. It has to be a strategic decision, not just, "Oh, I like this color."
So, we've got a concept, a system, and our tools. But the thing that really ties it all together, it's a mindset. And the core mindset that truly separates a professional from an amateur is the discipline of restraint. It's all about the power of less.
Okay, listen up, because this might be the most important rule in the entire book. When a design just feels off, what's our first instinct? It's to add more, right? Add another line, another color, some other element, but that almost always makes it worse. The professional's first move isn't to add, it's to take things away, to remove, because reduction clarifies the message and makes everything that's left even stronger. And that brings us beautifully to Rule 08, which this quote just captures perfectly. Think about negative space, the empty parts of your design. It's not nothing, it's a super active, really powerful element. It's just like the quote says, the silence between the notes is where the music actually lives. That space around your text and images, it gives them room to breathe, it creates a rhythm, and it communicates a kind of sophistication and confidence. So, after going through all these rules, it really all boils down to this one single powerful question. Every choice you make, from that core concept all the way down to how much white space you use, is sending a message. And a designer's job isn't just to make things look good. It's to make sure that the message being sent is the exact one you intended. So ask yourself, is your design speaking clearly, or is it just adding to the noise?